Since we started evacuating people from standard people from all over states in India, till now we have around 2000. Till now, 2,172 returnees have come back, and out of that, we have discharged 278, and at present we have got 1,917 people still in the facility quarantine. We made it a point to keep everyone in facility quarantine because most of the people they were coming back from red zone, and we didn't want to take any risks in just sending them home. There are a few considerations like regarding terminally ill patients and those who has recently undergone operations. In few of them, we send them home. That too, we just didn't send them home. Like we talk to the panchayat in the local area whether they have got proper facilities for home quarantine or not, and whether they have got separate rooms for the home quarantine or not. And after getting the approval from the panchayat, we were sending them home. Like there are a few cases like one child came with the oxygen and all, though the mother was taught how to use oxygen and all. She should have been sent to home quarantine, but when we inquired about that, she was staying in the middle of the market and she didn't have the facility to for the washroom and all this. So we didn't send her to home quarantine. We kept her at the facility quarantine. And second thing is that after the once they come back, when we put them on the facility quarantine, we are doing tests after the 5 days. The day of returning is 0 day, and then after 5 days we are doing test in all the returnees, so that once we send them to their society, back to their society, we want that everyone should go home confidently that they are negative, and the local people in the villages also they shouldn't object that he is coming back, because once he is negative then there is nothing to worry. So we made it a point to do the testing of each and every one who were in facility quarantine. And though there is a guideline that if you keep someone in facility quarantine for 14 days continuously, the test is also not very mandatory. You can just send them after 14 days for after home quarantine. You can send them home with the advice to continue home quarantine for another 14 days. And till now, as I want to like to report to you, we have done totally 1204 testing till now, out of which we have done 759 tests from Siliguri, that is RT-PCR, North Bengal Medical College, and remaining 445 tests we have sent in TrueNet at STNM Hospital, out of which 355 tests are negative, and our STNM we are only 90 samples are yet to be reported, and North Bengal Medical College they have still 287 samples to be reported. And now one next important thing is that now we are going to get, they have started from Karnataka, Bangalore, one train dedicated for Sikkim is coming, in which I think there are more than 1,000 people coming in. That is actually a big challenge for us because the number of the returnees is very high. Actually, when we had a task force meeting with the chief secretary, we had kept a thing that the maximum number of returnees should be less than 500, so that we can do the screening better. And luckily till now we have been screening not more than 300 till now. But on 21st, I think since they have started today, they will be coming here on 21st, and we'll be screening that number of returnees for the first time on that day. I hope we will be able to control the crowd, and we will be able to do the thorough screening of all those people coming back. And for this, actually, we had requested the DC East and DC South for extra checking, screening rooms and all this. And the DC East has created around 6 rooms at Goli ground, Rampu. Earlier it was being done at the other part, and now they have created another extra cabin, 6 cabins for screening of the returnees in Goli ground. Similarly, at DC South also has created 2 or 3 more cabins for screening of the returnees at Melli. So we hope with this we will be able to screen them properly. But the thing is that whether we will be able to accommodate them all in facility quarantine or not, that now DCs South and DC West, all the DCs are looking into it. I hope they will be able to manage the facility quarantine for all the returnees by 21st of May. Sir, what is the next? There are actually 3 types of quarantine centers. One is paid quarantine center, which we have hired all the hotels, and the government has fixed a rate of 1,000 rupees per day, which includes the food also. And the people who can afford, they're going and they're staying in the paid quarantine. Good hotels are also there. But the problem is with the facility quarantine, free facility quarantine, in which, like our chief, during task force meeting, the chief secretary had instructed to make a checklist, like and number the facility quarantine as per the priority, like which is the best as per like that. So now I think with the incoming increasing and increasing, like the top priority facility quarantines are almost full. Now we are going to the schools and all this. So which is as per the facility will not be as good as others, but still they are managing it. They are acquiring more schools and more halls and all for keeping all this facility quarantine people in those areas coming back. They are going to keep them in facility quarantine. I hope they will arrange for the space by the time these returnees come back to Gangtok.